everyone. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here, a special welcome to you. Please do subscribe. It would be lovely to try to get my numbers up a little bit. To share this information about, the realities of growing up in a dysfunctional family system, particularly one that has a narcissistic element to it, be that a narcissistic parent or a borderline parent. Often those two go together, and that's what we discuss here. The very real impact and the sort of topsy-turviness of that sort of family system where the parents are the focus, not the children. So today we're going to look at a very key element of that topsy-turvy system, and it's all to do with healing from childhood family dysfunction, narcissistic parenting, and what's required, most importantly, is to begin having empathy for yourself first instead. So let's explore this a bit further, and please do leave any comments and like, share and subscribe if you haven't already. So the Oxford English definition of empathy is the following: the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. It's kind of, in my view, it's having an inquisitiveness about the experience of another and wanting to understand things from their perspective. Now, we know that with a borderline or narcissistic personality, the key aspect of that type of personality is that they have no empathy. So let's just sit with that for a minute. They have no ability to, or no desire to, really be in the shoes of another, to really come in and understand things from your perspective. So your parent, if you look back now, may not have made much attempt to understand and share your feelings about things. That wouldn't have been high priority for them to understand your experience of, for example, your parents having an argument. They wouldn't have been sort of, your parent coming, oh, so, how are you feeling, darling? What was, I know that wasn't very nice, let's explore this a bit and try, tell me how you're feeling. You may not have had experiences much like that. There wouldn't have been a thought, in fact, to have done that by the parent. And the reason is, often they're not really bothered. It doesn't actually cross their mind. However, there may have been moments, actually, where you did feel as if they did try to understand you when you were upset. And sometimes a more borderline type parent can have empathy, some empathy. However, when it's coupled with narcissistic traits, as often is the case, this sort of attempt to get what you're feeling can also be a form of information gathering, which is what narcissistic types do. They gather information and then they store it, they log it, and then they use it later to wound you. So your vulnerability then in sharing how you're feeling and wanting this type of empathy from the parent becomes a moment of then taking things to use against you later. So it's not a safe experience. Hi, Laura. Laura says here, not at all, even though she went through the motions of apologising. Yes. So it wasn't there wasn't a genuineness, it wasn't an empathy that you could really connect with, or that you felt really understood by, Laura. There was no real attempt to do that, to get to know you. But rather, I would suggest sort of an attempt to just get you to calm down or get over it a bit. So, doing whatever needs to be said to get you to do that. So, as children of these parents that lack empathy, as Laura's saying here, we often come to believe that our need to be understood or heard or empathized with is actually annoying. It's what makes us unlovable somehow. We're too needy. And you see, your narcissistic parent, for a narcissistic parent, with them, their needs, their moods are what you need to empathize with. You need to tune into them and then know how to be yourself. So you learn that empathy for yourself is gained by tuning in to what's happening for them, and then you adjusting your behavior accordingly. Your narcissistic parents want you to empathize with them, in other words. This is the topsy-turviness. And they want you to take up as little space, as possible. And that means, not having lots of needs, especially emotional ones. That takes up so much space in their world, and they've got enough of their own, that they're dealing with. They prefer for you just to get on with it, and to sort of just get not need them to try and come in and handle it, because they can't. So you end up feeling like you're an annoyance or a burden when you have emotional needs, or the need for somebody to understand you. So we learn that to be acceptable, our experience of things is just not important. In fact, it's a burden, and our experience needs to adjust to the experience of the parent, which is most important. It's all about them, and us fitting in with their world, with their marriage, with their drama. And in fact, sometimes we come to almost need to be told how we should be experiencing something. We're like, well, my experience of it's not important. How should I actually be experiencing this? What should I be feeling here? Oh, okay, that's what I should be feeling. Then I feel safe. But I can't trust my own feelings of it. And anyway, when you did have a tantrum or a rage, or you expressed some kind of cry for empathy, it was probably something that might have angered the parent. As they were not wanting to expend all that energy trying to understand you. They just wanted you to stop. They wanted you to get over it, because that too means you're taking up too much space in their world and causing too much distress for them. So, as children of these types of parents, we learned that we don't deserve empathy, but we learned to be lovable, we have to empathize with our parent, with others. That's the only way to be. So we ended up seeing everything, including and most especially ourselves, through the eyes of the parent. And so we came to believe that we were a problem anyway, but when we had problems, we were a problem with problems. So doubly a problem. Now here's the healing part of this. This is the work I do with clients. In healing, we have to switch the topsy-turvy system. We have to switch it around, and we must, first of all, go back and empathize with that little child, us. We must be the inquisitive one who wants to know how our experience. We must do this. This is the justice. This is where the healing must first take place. But there's another level here, and this is really key. What was set in place in childhood was this pattern of empathizing with others, of seeing everything through their eyes, including ourselves. So many of my clients will come to me now and they'll have an experience with another person, whatever it is, maybe it's an argument or they will get rejected or whatever it might be. And the first thing they're thinking of is, what did I do to cause the distress, to cause this this reaction in this other person? How did they see me? And how should I have been different? Instead of saying, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry for me. That was really painful, the way that they spoke to me. That was really painful, the way they rejected me. And allowing ourselves to empathize with ourselves first. That is the real work of healing. And it comes, I would say, after we've been able to empathize with that inner child that had no one inquisitive about their experience, nobody really interested. And so the work I do with clients is particularly on that level in hypnotherapy, but then we also move forward now to empathizing with ourselves in our present day lives, making that the number one thing to do, to empathize with yourself now, and to be that parent that had your back, that was on your side, and really valued your experience of something, not their own above yours. I hope that's helpful, everyone. If you have any experience of this or any, has it triggered any memories perhaps or whatever, please feel free to share. And if you'd like to do some work with me on this, on freeing yourself from the impact of the dysfunctional background you came from, do reach out, and I'll leave my Calendly link after this in the blurb at the bottom of this video. And thank you for being here. Take care, everybody. Bye now.